How do you cut from $1,000 a fortnight or cut from $500 a week? How can a government take away from $500 a week from people who have to support a family whilst their ministers' salaries remain untouched? How could the government be so heartless? They are taking away from those who could hardly make ends meet. This is another heartless action from a government who simply just don't care about the people. This is the punishment you get for making what they say was the right choice. What about workers from the prestige outlets like KFC, Pizza Hut, TGI Friday, Subway, and Starbucks? The little stipend they were receiving during the lockdown was stopped. What about them? And what about the other thousands of workers who have been home without any assistance whatsoever? What about the many thousands of workers who are not attached to any company, but who depend on a day work just to take care of the family? These people have not received any salary relief grant from the government. And what about the people who were sent home before COVID-19 and with the lockdowns over a year now have no opportunity to find work? What about them?
Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. I am Ozzi Warwick, General Secretary of the Joint Trade Union Movement and Chief Education and Research Officer of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union. You would have heard once again another excerpt from the Labor Day feature address delivered by the President of the Joint Trade Union Movement, Comrade Ansel Roger. And he would have addressed quite a wide range of issues and topics, but definitely he spoke to workers at the lower end of the economic bracket. And another group of workers that are at the lower end of the economic bracket would be the workers, daily paid workers at the Port of Spain Corporation and workers at the San Fernando Corporation. And just to speak to those issues and issues really facing workers at the lower end of the economic bracket, we have the General Secretary of the Amalgamated Workers Union, Comrade Cassandra Tommy, and we have the General Secretary of the Contractors and General Workers Trade Union, Comrade Ermine De Bique. These are who we call our warrior women, very strong and powerful trade union leaders who will speak to the issues facing workers at the lower end of the economic bracket. Welcome, comrades.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you all would have heard Comrade Roger's feature address on Labor Day, and you would have recognized that he spoke quite a bit to the issues facing workers at the lower end of the economic bracket. So I'd just like to hear both of your response to that. First, Cassandra, and then Comrade De Bique.
Thank you, Comrade. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. As the General Secretary of Amalgamated Workers Union, we represent 1,500 plus daily paid workers at the Port of Spain City Corporation. I would have become General Secretary in 2016. But before that, workers working at the low spectrum of the ladder, they are still on 2013 salary. So we would have submitted proposal to the CPO. The CPO would have been saying they has not gotten a directive from the government as yet. You know, we would have submitted proposal back in 2005 with the job evaluation. That has not been completed, you know, to put workers at a different level. We have seen since COVID came and hit, because we would have submitted proposal, not only Amalgamated, but also my sister comrade union from South and NUGF as well. We would have submitted proposal to the CPO. Then COVID came and hit, and they was looking to approach at doing something for workers. And then they said that that would have been too much of money. They look at increments and allowance. But then when you got into the depth of COVID, that was put on hold. So as I said before, workers are working on 2013 salary. We are in 2021. Every single thing is going up on a daily basis. Basic things what workers have to look forward to do their jobs in terms of tools in terms of health and safety equipment, workers are not getting that. So here it is, our union having our challenges on a daily basis to go out there and fight to represent workers on the low spectrum of the ladder.
Thank you very much, Comrade Tommy. Well said. Comrade De Bique, you would have heard from your comrade in the north. What is happening in the south?
Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I am Ermine De Bique, lead General Secretary of the Contractors and General Workers Trade Union. We at the Contractors and General Workers Trade Union represent the daily paid workers at the San Fernando City Corporation. We would have had an establishment of 523 since the year 1972. And since 1972, the boundaries in San Fernando have expanded the landscape of San Fernando. And when I say the landscape, there are more schools, there are more business places, there are more residents in San Fernando. And yet still, the government have not seen it fit to increase the amount of workers within the establishment in San Fernando City Corporation. The Contractors and General Workers Trade Union, time and time again, have written to the CPO, putting forward our argument why the establishment, the amount should be increased. And today, as I speak, they have not increased the establishment. At the San Fernando City Corporation, we as the union would have put in proposals for the year 2014 to 2016, 2017 to 2019. And the CPO has not seen it fit, right, to continue negotiations. Yes, we would have met with the CPO as it relates to non-cost items, but they have not come to the table as it relates to the cost items. You would have seen utility bills, all sorts of increases the government has placed on the working class, not only workers of the San Fernando City Corporation, but the working class in Trinidad and Tobago. And yet still the government have not seen it fit to give the CPO some sort of directive to come to the table and meet with the various unions as it concerns the workers' pay. But yet they see it fit to go on their political platforms and to make statements. And once again, we as trade union leaders are telling the government, we do not negotiate on a political platform. There is a forum for negotiating. And on behalf of the government, it is the CPO office that negotiate on behalf of the government with the various unions. We would have filling of vacancies. We have vacancies in the San Fernando City Corporation. The workers are working in the vacancies. They are getting the pay. They are getting the correct pay. But to fill the vacancies indicating to the workers, getting a documentation indicating that they are now promoted to so-and-so classification. We are not getting that, as we indicated to the Minister of Finance when he met recently with us. I indicated, I said, Mr. Minister, it is not forcing the government any increase. The workers are already getting the pay. The only thing the workers want is the documentation indicating is either they became permanent in that classification or they are now being made permanent. It's not an increase, and they cannot understand that. The workers of the San Fernando City Corporation are being treated unfairly. It is only during this COVID that this government recognized the importance of the daily pay. The same workers that they look down at as scavengers, they are playing an important job, because if they don't go out there and clean the streets, if these workers do not go out there and clean the various markets within Trinidad and Tobago, it could become a health hazard, and many persons are not seeing it. And yet still, when they decided to give the vaccination that they said that is so important, they did not see it fit to vaccinate these workers who are out there. These workers have not missed a day work since the start of COVID 2020, March 2020. But yet still it didn't see it fit to vaccinate these workers. They vaccinate the mayor, the CEO, the public health saying the daily paid workers continue to be treated as second-class citizens. And it's time the government wake up, because we do not intend to take this sort of treatment that is being melted out to us. We are important.
Well said, Comrade De Bique. Very powerful words. Comrade Tommy, would you agree that daily paid workers in general across this country are being treated with very little respect by the authorities? Because throughout the theme of Comrade Roger's feature address was that question of disrespect. Would you agree with that assessment?
Comrade, I would certainly agree with that, because as my comrade sister would have said, in terms of it's only when COVID hit, persons realize how important the person who come in daily to remove your garbage is important, you know. So I would say from since the inception of time, we have disrespected the daily paid employees. We have disrespected them. And I feel it's time, as my comrade sister would have said, in terms of the vaccination. At Port of Spain, they asked persons, because keep in mind that vaccination is not mandatory. So at Port of Spain, they invited workers who wish to take the vaccine to put down their names, right? You know, sometimes different management, different procedure. But at Port of Spain, they encourage workers to take the vaccine to put down their names, right? But in light of the disrespect, as I said before, simple things like gloves, masks, those things. You could do the work, you don't bump for those things. That is total disrespect. And it's time that the management, the government see fit to implement different measures for the daily paid. Look at this in terms of you would go around and on Christmas time, different persons, different organizations would have a Christmas party. When last you appreciated your workers, guys, you're doing a wonderful job. We appreciate you. When last the mayor of Port of Spain told the workers of the Port of Spain Corporation, you're doing a wonderful job. You are important. I thank you. They have not done that. So it's total disrespect across the board.
Yes, as we kind of wrap this up, I would like to hear both of your comment on the Unite to Fight theme. Because what I'm getting is sense from both of you all, and I heard the passion in the voice of Comrade De Bique, that we really have to unite to fight for respect and unite to fight for the respect of daily paid workers. Can I just get your sort of concluding thoughts on that?
Comrade, back in 2010, we sent out a call for our workers, for our members to come out and hit the streets of Port of Spain in front of the City Hall and in front of the CPO's office. And comrade, workers came out. They came out to support the union because they are fed up. They are totally fed up. So as the slogan, as I've always said, the joint trade union movement is innovative, you know, and in terms of that, workers just waiting for COVID to lift, to hit the streets of Port of Spain. Disrespect must stop. And as my comrade sister always says, no retreat, no surrender. So Port of Spain City Corporation is just waiting.
I'm getting the sense, as the person who really championed that phrase, no retreat, no surrender, Comrade De Bique, that's you. I'm assuming that San Fernando Corporation is no different. In fact, my recollection is that once a call is made, those workers come out in their numbers. Can we expect that to be happening as well?
You are quite correct. And I will start by saying In unity, there is strength. And we personally believe that once you unite, you will get all these forces together. And we continue to carry that slogan, unite the fight. We have championed that slogan. In fact, some of our vehicles have the bumper sticker indicating unite the fight. And while we are showing it on our bumper stickers, is wherever we drive, we are sensitizing the public that in unity there is strength. And there is no other organization that has in the past, is doing now, and is going to do in the future what the labor fraternity is doing for the working class. And may I remind the population that all that they are enjoying now is because of the food our forefathers and our foremothers would have labored, and that is why we are enjoying what we are enjoying today. And to the youth out there, they must be prepared to fight, because they have to start to lay the foundation for the ones that are coming up, right? So it is important to unite, to fight. In unity, there is strength. And as they say, if you have a chain, the weakest link to damage the chain. So every link that chain is important. And that is why the labor fraternity is united, and we are prepared to fight this government, or whichever government comes our way. We are prepared to fight, and we are stronger, we are alive, and we are going to fight this government. Whatever it takes, we are going to fight this government.
Well, Trinidad and Tobago, you would have heard those powerful words coming from Comrade Ermine De Bique, General Secretary of the Contractors, General Workers Trade Union, and of course, Comrade Cassandra Tommy, also General Secretary of the Amalgamated Workers Union, reminding all that we must unite to fight for justice. Thank you all, comrades, for your response to the President General, Comrade Roger's feature address on Labor Day. So thank you very much, comrades.